In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the mean average and use a little bit of algebra with it. This is the one average that actually involves more calculation. So what we're going to do is work backwards, and we will use our algebra steps to not only practice our algebra, but see how algebra can be used to go through this. Again, it might not be the fastest way, but it is part of our process getting ready for next year. I'm going to take simply four numbers, 23, 32, 18, and 44. And we're going to figure out what the mean is. Now, even before that, can you come up with an idea of what you think it is? Do you have an idea of what you think the middle number should be? And again, remember, we talked about, are there outliers? And if there are outliers, it's going to change it. It's going to take the mean and break it. Are any of these outliers? Is 44 really that much higher than 32? Not really. Is 18 really that much lower than 23? Not really. I don't really think any of these numbers are drastically different. So let's find our mean. If I would do the sum of these, I would get 117. And I would divide that by 4. I get 29.25, rounded would be 29.3 to the nearest tenth. And again, does this make sense? Is this close to the middle? Yeah, I would say so. So again, it proves that there are really no outliers skewing this or pulling it up or down. What we want to take a look at is what would happen if I know that this is my answer, and I'll put in 0.25 just so it's exact. What would happen if I already knew what the mean average was, but if I was missing one of these numbers? So instead I'm going to put a question mark here. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to create an equation, and then we're going to work to solve for the thing we don't know. Well, if I was to do averages, or mean average specifically, I know that the mean is equal to a division problem. The sum is my numerator, and the number of numbers is my denominator. So by definition, this is my formula or my equation. So what I can start doing is filling some things in. I can take mean. In this case, my mean is 29.25. Now, I'm not quite ready for my sum yet. All right, but what I am going to do is write out how I would find the sum. I'm going to take my four numbers and I'm going to add them up. 23 plus 32 plus 18 plus a number I technically don't know. We're going to use a variable. Variables represent a number we know is there, but we don't know what the value is. I'm going to use m. Divided by or over top, if you talk about in terms of a fraction, how many numbers I have. Now you have to be careful here. Some kids will put 3 on the bottom. It's not 3. You technically had 4. So 4 goes underneath. Okay, so we fill in our information that we have. So we have our equation. Now we want to start using our algebra. First I would want to do is combine anything that I can. Is it possible to shrink this picture down? And it is. I can take the numbers in my numerator and add together. So this becomes 29.25 equals, and I'm going to take the sum of these, 23 plus 32 plus 18, and I get 73. 73 goes here, plus m, that's still in my numerator, and I have a 4 in the denominator. I cannot combine anything else. Now typically what we would do is add opposites multiplied by reciprocals. This picture is a little different because the number I want to add the opposite of is locked up in the numerator. Okay, so what I'm going to actually do is flip-flop my operations. Up next, I'm going to multiply by reciprocal. Now why? Because I want to get this numerator unlocked. I want to get it out of the top. How do I get it out of the top? I get rid of the bottom. If there's no bottom, there is no top. So how do I get rid of a 4 that's on the bottom? Multiply by the reciprocal. Where does the other 4 have to go in order to cross them off? It has to go up top. 4 as a fraction is 4 over 1. If I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. 4 or 4 over 1, doesn't matter how you write it on that side, equals. Take this side, 29.25 times 4, and I get 117. Now that number should make sense to us because that originally was my sum earlier. The 4's cross off. All I'm left with is the 73 plus m. Now remember, this 73 plus m was the original sum, the number up top. So it should make sense that it equals what it's supposed to equal. So I multiply by reciprocals. Last step, I'm going to add opposites. So I'm ready to get rid of my added number, which is an added 73. Add the opposite, which is the opposite of 73, or negative 73. 117 plus negative 73 is magically 44. 73 plus negative 73, they cross off to 0. The only thing I'm left with is m, and I get m equals 44. So remember, this is using algebra to solve. M is the missing number that I had up here. It was not the mean average. So this is working backwards. You already know what the mean average is, but you're missing a number. So we're going to write an equation. We're going to combine things we can, take all my added numbers, shrink it down, multiply by reciprocals to get rid of my bottom number, and then I'm going to lastly add opposites to get m all by itself. This is mean average working backwards.